across America, incredibly talented artisans are making amazing objects the old-fashioned way, by hand. The makers in this Handcrafted America episode work with rigid materials that are difficult to bend and shape until they're in the hands of these artisans.
Man, that looks good.
A Maryland craftsman takes an everyday product and offers an eye-catching alternative.
It's an everyday item, and I think it's important that we bring beauty back into our lives.
Metal experts declared these purses can't be made. Fortunately, this Pennsylvania maker didn't listen.
I was always told that it's not possible, but I was determined.
Where do you find a family hand-making neon signs? Head to Vegas, baby.
That is so cool.
This kind of work isn't about strength, it's about skill.
That looks perfect.
You know, I can tell you firsthand, men can be very hard to shop for, but I think it just got a whole lot smoother. Dan Jansen is from Baltimore, Maryland. He's the sort of guy who likes to get his hands dirty.
I just wanted to get back to sort of the traditional way people used to be. People used to make things. People didn't used to buy things. If you wanted something, you went out in the forest, you cut down a tree, and you made it.
Dan uses his skills to create high-end shaving sets.
People are just looking for things that look good. You know, we surround ourselves with plastic. We surround ourselves with throwaway things. This is something you are going to use every day, so why not use something good? I would say 65% of my customers are women buying for men because they're sick of their plastic, ugly razors.
No, ugly plastic is not Dan's style. He works with beautiful woods of all kinds, but his favorite materials are the out-of-the-ordinary, like naturally shed antler and petrified woods.
I have some woods like this. So it's actually a petrified wood that's been in a bog underwater for thousands of years.
Wow.
It's heavy, it's like a rock.
Dan believes in pushing himself as an artisan. He loves introducing new materials and techniques to his craft. With my arrival, Dan has decided to try something special, which means new.
We are going to try working with this.
Turquoise.
Turquoise, but it's actual stone, so feel that. And I've never worked with stone before. So,
wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna get to work with turquoise today. First time ever. Whether turning wood or stone razors, the first step is the same. So we're gonna make some blanks out of this, and that's where you kind of start with making your razors.
Exactly.
Okay. Blanks are small, long blocks that can be turned on a lathe.
We'll see. It could break apart and kill us.
Okay, all right, so do you have anything a little bit safer than these glasses?
Yes, I have a face shield.
A face shield, great. Yeah. Do you have a body shield?
You can use it if
No?
you're a baby.
Okay.
I mean, you can use it.
Luckily, Dan cuts through the turquoise as smoothly as a close shave. Then he makes a hole through the center of the blank to make room for a piece of brass. What does that brass tubing do?
So each one of the razors has a cap on each end. It's the hardware. The hardware has a stainless steel thread that goes through from one end to the other, and the brass tube just acts as a sheath for it.
Dan seals the end grains with glue to keep out the water.
Even though this is stone, I want to make sure that there's a good seal around the brass. So I do this here.
The glue dries in a few seconds, and we're in the home stretch as the blank goes on the lathe. How does that feel?
It's harder. It's just giving me a lot of resistance.
Oh, that's
It's
so
looking good.
pretty. Look at all that marbling.
I know.
To really show off the marbling, we have to sand it, dipping the paper in water first.
That will keep the dust down, number one, and it sort of helps it glide along.
And then we polish with a finer sandpaper.
Man, that looks good.
Yeah, it does. I can tell you're excited.
I am. These are going to be part of a premium package.
Finally, the hardware is screwed on. Dan's basic wood razors start at $50. Prices vary beyond that based on materials.
It's an everyday item, and I think it's important that we bring beauty back into our lives.
These razors are so beautiful, you're gonna have to remodel your bathroom. She's one of the most sought-after bag designers in the world, using some, shall we say, unusual materials.
Well, that's the challenge, to make it look soft and feminine and starting from a greasy piece of sheet metal.
Most people think of handbags as dainty and delicate. This next artisan's creations are anything but. Pikeville, Pennsylvania is far from urban industrial, but that hasn't stopped metal handbag maker Wendy Stevens from bringing Manhattan quality to the country. In her farmhouse studio, Wendy bends steel to her will. In fact, it's her steel will that has made Wendy one of the most sought-after handbag designers in the world. The success of our beautiful bags is due in part to their material, stainless steel.
I was always told that it's not possible, but I was determined.
It started in the 1980s in Manhattan.
I was living in the East Village and started noticing sheet metal on subways, telephone booths. That went, wow. At the club, these women would come in with huge handbags, and I just thought how great it would be to have a small wallet-sized piece that's super durable.
The wearable wallet launched Wendy's career as a handbag designer. In 1993, she took her skills out to the country and set up shop in an old Pennsylvania farmhouse. It was there that a devastating fire almost ended her career.
In 2004, the whole facility burned to the ground, pretty much, except the stone walls.
Instead of quitting, Wendy modernized.
We had to kind of pick ourselves up and rebuild it better, right?
Better, in this case, led to etching.
Well, I was able to learn the etching process. It opened up just a world of design and a world of different shapes that were possible to create with that process.
Today, her bags are displayed at the Smithsonian, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and sold around the world. What made you think, yeah, like let's combine something that's so, you know, it's feminine, and then you put this hard metal with it?
Well, that's the challenge, to make it look soft and feminine and starting from a greasy piece of sheet metal.
This is such an incredible design. I've never seen anything like this, and I have seen a lot of purses.
Well, that particular one was inspired by manhole covers, which I love
Manhole covers. What is it about stainless that you like?
It lasts forever, and it doesn't change. This bag will look the same way in 150 years from now.
What are we going to be making today? What kind of
We are
purse?
making the big drop bag here, and this is really great for travel.
Like most of Wendy's work, the drop bag starts with a pattern design. It's printed to a white sheet of paper and matched against a piece of pre-cut metal.
I have to really be careful at this stage because everything has to fit perfectly without distorting the pattern I've just created.
Wendy used to hand punch patterns. After the fire, she discovered a better way, photo etching. She shows me how it works using a pattern for her lace clutch bag.
The process begins with cutting a piece of stainless from a coil. The sheet's cleaned completely from all oil and grease.
The steel is sandwiched between photo tool copies of the pattern. That's exposed to UV light, transferring the pattern from the photo tool to the metal. Then the exposed stainless sits in an acid bath for 30 minutes. The acid removes the metal along the pattern lines.
And what comes out is my parts that are tabbed into the sheet with the patterns on them. All the holes are etched, and they're ready to break out of the sheet and begin fabrication.
A metal sheet etched in an acid bath is going to have some sharp edges. So Wendy starts by rounding corners on a grinding wheel. This process is called deburring. Then we move to the sandblaster.
We're going to put a nice smooth satin finish on this piece of metal.
These are some big gloves.
Yeah, they don't make them for women, that's for sure.
The sand particles shoot out, smoothing the etched portion of the stainless.
That looks really uniform and perfect.
Wendy was told over and over that no tool would allow her to do a U-bend with stainless steel.
And they say, there's too much spring back, you can't do a U-bend in stainless with this tool. But I already kind of figured out how to do it.
Spring back is when a piece of metal begins to flatten after being bent. But Wendy sprung forward with her tricky technique on the press brake.
I work it around the diameter of the punch so I can get it just where I need it to bring the sides up, parallel and even a little beyond parallel.
Look at that. All you naysayers, she did it. No spring back here. Wendy's a maverick with her materials and methods, but she's also a perfectionist, and there's a lot at stake here.
Well, if you hit the metal, that's really the end of the piece.
So we would have to scrap this bag and start over?
We would.
Metal handbag designer Wendy Stevens is not someone who takes no for an answer. Whether she's making chic Manhattan quality bags from her farmhouse in Pennsylvania, bending materials in ways no one thought could be done, or even just choosing her materials, Wendy is just not interested in the rules.
That is the challenge, to take a piece of sheet metal and make it soft, feminine, kind of like you want to just drape it across your body or tote it around it.
We're deep into her drop bag. We've deburred and shaped the body. For the lid, Wendy uses a hand press brake to make an 85-degree bend.
It should lay flat right on the front. Perfect.
The next step is to add leather called gussets. Wendy uses cow and lamb hide. It's cut with a custom die Wendy designed.
It's like a video game.
I know. All right, cool. Let's see. There's one, and then I just pull it right out.
That's nice.
Jill, now we're going to set the gusset into the metal piece.
Okay.
And I've got the rivet stems all set in there now, and we're going to just use our fingers without gloves and just push the cap onto the stem. And so now we're going to set the cap onto the stem securely by hammering it.
Hammering happens at the stake table. Wendy uses one stake to set the stem caps into the gusset on the side of the bag.
Yep, that looks sound and tight.
And uses another stake for the U-shaped bottom.
Which actually is a piece of pipe from New York City, the East Village.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You brought it here.
Just cut it and had it welded onto a piece. Yeah, so this is actually my oldest stake on the whole table. This is the one I began with.
When it's my turn, I learn what's really at stake on the stake table.
If you hit the metal, that's really the end of the piece.
Stop it. Are you serious?
I am serious, because it's hard to get a hammer dent out of a piece of stainless.
So we would have to scrap this bag and start over?
We would.
Next, Wendy rivets a pre-cut hinge to the back of the bag. We attach the lid and fastener hardware to the drop bag using really tiny tools. And then the strap.
We have it. Now you can put it on.
Look at this. Let me just model this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the big drop bag.
Before we finish up, I'm anxious to see the lace clutch Wendy showed me earlier. The bag that proves two opposites can be true at the same time.
It's metal, but it's lace. But it's metal lace.
This bag needs some additional shaping before it can become an elegant evening bag.
This is now ready to roll on the slip roll. This arm comes towards you, and then you're going to slowly take it and roll the piece.
It's a nice bend.
And then we bend the lid by hand.
This then will go to 35 degrees. That looks great.
Degrees.
Yep, very good.
After a length of hinge is cut, we head over to the triple gang punch to make rivet holes.
Perfect, I think. It sounded right. There we are.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect, yeah.
We finish up by adding a magnetic closure. one of over 20 different kinds of hardware that are also custom designed by Wendy.
Some are draw bolts, some have a flap kind of closure that pivots, some have spring hinges that are just sprung closed, simple. Some are magnetic.
Ladies, I know you love that.
The price range for Wendy's bags goes from $200 to about $1,100, but wearing one will make you feel like $1,000,000.
This drop bag is drop dead gorgeous. It's chic, it's functional, and just as incredible as the artisan that made it.
I never thought that bending neon would be easy, but I didn't realize how many things have to happen at the same time.
So she's blowing air while she's bending it, and it's keeping the glass from collapsing.
Yeah.
In a place that knows neon, our next artisans have mastered this city's most iconic art form.
Las Vegas, Nevada is perpetually ablaze in light. Neon used to be the light of choice here, but less expensive LED screens are taking over. For those still wanting a handcrafted old-school Vegas sign, Paul Macias is the man to see.
This is the Neon Museum in Las Vegas.
Ah, this is so awesome.
People like to come and see all the old school stuff.
The old Stardust sign, and now the neon went on the outside here?
Yeah, it would have bordered around each letter, and then all these little bulbs would flicker and flash.
So what do you love about all this old neon?
I just love the old school look of it. It's just so nostalgic to me.
Preserving nostalgic neon signs is what Paul's parents, Juan and Ina Macias, have been doing for more than 30 years. Ina started thanks to a special gift Paul received as a kid.
So when I was a little kid, I got these silver dollars as a birthday present.
He was probably maybe 2 years old.
And then my mom had a job interview that she had to go to, but didn't have any money.
So I say, let's use these silver dollars to put a gas.
The job interview was for a neon bending position. Those silver dollars are pretty much all they had, and she got the job.
So those silver dollars means a lot to me and to Paul too. It's like the lucky silver dollars.
Juan soon joined Ina at the company, and they made their way up through the ranks, mastering the art of bending neon.
Yeah, I've been doing this for about 35 years, and I'm still learning.
A few years later, they opened their own neon sign shop. Today, Ina is considered one of the most experienced and talented neon benders in America. Neon's iconic glow begins with a two-dimensional plan. Paul first creates a design on a computer and prints it to size on a machine called a plotter. He's making a sign highlighting our show's initials, HCA.
But it's backwards.
We bend it in reverse because the neon gets laid flat. And then when it's ready, it's right side up.
So not only are these guys bending glass and creating intricate letters and shapes, they're doing it all backwards. This process is looking a little more complicated than I thought. The type of gas Paul uses determines the color of the light. Paul can create 80 different colors by combining 5-foot phosphor-coated glass tubes with blue argon gas or red neon gas.
So Ina, we have our glass, and I don't know what that is, but it looks very dangerous.
That's called a ribbon burner. She's gonna mark the glass wherever she's gonna make the bends.
How hot does it have to get?
It's about 1200 degrees. She can tell as it starts to get soft, it'll start to bend a little bit, and it will start to change color. And so she's going a little bit of air.
The air goes all the way through to the place where I'm bending the glass.
Bending is definitely the hardest part. I was probably 12 when I first started bending. It was an art, seeing how the glass is melted, bent to shape.
A skilled bender like Ina can create a sign this size in about 20 minutes.
That is so cool.
The last thing she needs to do is put the electrodes on it. These are going to allow us to add the voltage inside of the tube. So now we're going to vacuum all of the air out of there to get all the impurities out of it.
Okay.
Paul prepares the letters for a jolt of electricity. He's not adding the gas yet, just warming up the tubes.
Okay, ready?
I don't know, am I? I'm afraid. It worked! That's beautiful!
So now we're just heating up the glass to get it up to temperature. And we have to heat up the electrodes so they're nice cherry red. And once it cools down, then we can put the gas in. It usually takes a couple minutes.
Okay.
Now we're ready to put the gas into it. It's cooled down enough.
Paul adds blue argon gas to the orange-coated glass to make the final red sign.
Okay, the gas is in there, and it's ready.
Paul seals off the unit and runs a small drop of mercury all the way through the length of the sign.
The mercury helps the color come out.
The sign is almost finished. Paul adds another current of electricity, and this makes the glass and mercury glow.
So right now what it's doing is it's burning in, so it'll all eventually end up this bright.
Paul, what kind of paint is this?
It's a special blockout paint for glass. We're blocking out the areas that connect each letter because you don't want to see those when the sign is turned on.
So the letters can pop out, right?
Exactly.
Here it is. It's our finished sign. It's amazing, beautiful. So now, how much would this cost me?
For a complete sign about this size, it'd be about $250.
I love seeing our show and lights. To make products using rigid materials, an artisan needs to first understand and appreciate what they're working with.
I remember opening that first package of stainless and just going, this is it.
They can't just hurry through the process.
That takes time and patience, and it's delicate.
And artisans have to be dedicated to constantly improving their skills.
Even during night in my dreams, I practice.
That's exactly what these artisans do. They use their skills to turn metal, rock, and glass into functional art.